My friends, hello and welcome to GoldenEye SpeedLore. This is the 9th episode of 10 episodes that I've planned this year. I mean, it is really amazing that we've come this far, and you guys have really enjoyed the SpeedLores, and I've really enjoyed doing them. I really look forward to doing them now. If you can't tell by the music playing and the picture shown on screen here of the objectives, tonight we're exploring the world of Runway 00 Agent. Runway is insane. When I decided at the beginning of the year that I was going to do 10 episodes, Runway 00 Agent was always on that list of one of them that I was going to do. There was really only 3 or 4 that I knew for sure I was going to do, and this was one of them. So this is a long time in the making. As you'll see, some things were quite left late, and it wasn't me who left them late, but we have a really incredible story to tell on Runway 00 Agent. The third level of the stage, I think one little interesting tidbit about Runway 00 is that, my father, Big Ray, he would play video games as well when I was a young guy, and he beat the entire game on Agent. He beat Dan and Facility on 00 Agent, but he got stuck on Runway 00 Agent, so a little bit more of a challenging level than maybe some people would believe. So let's take a look. The objectives on Runway 00 Agent. Objective A, find the plane ignition key. Very simple, that's the objective on Agent. B, destroy heavy gun emplacements. That is a 00 only objective. C, destroy missile battery. That is Secret Agent and 00 Agent. D, escape in plane. Press B at the end of the level to escape in the plane. And what more can be said? 4 objectives. Sounds pretty easy, right? Find the key. Destroy a few guns, a few drone guns. Destroy a battery. Escape. Alright. Well, in order to really get a feel for the level, let's watch a run. The first documented world record on the stage was 42 seconds set by Sterling Neblett in 1998. There's no video of that. 40 seconds was then done in 1999 by Wouter, Sterling, Mike Martin, Wes McKinney, and Tim Grenby. Classic names in the OG GoldenEye speedrunning world. This run belongs to Mike Martin. Let's have a look. Picks up the hand grenades. Ignition key. Objective A completed. Nice boost, bro. Nice boost. This run is from 1999. I am not kidding you. It is remarkable video quality for 99, absolutely. Runway has a tank we're all familiar with. He switches to the tank artillery, fires at a heavy gun emplacement, fires at the battery, fires at another gun, fires at the other gun, gets out of the tank, runs to the end, and enters the plane. All the objectives completed in 41 seconds. Now, what's kind of interesting here is that it was a 41-second run. His best times is 40, and in the history books, he is marked as having had the record at 40 seconds. So what I kind of think this run is that it's simply a demonstration that he was capable of 40 at the time. Maybe he wasn't recording when he got 40 seconds, and back in the day, claiming a time and demonstrating your skill and having some clout in the community was usually enough to kind of have your time accepted on the rankings. And I think that's what this run by Mike Martin was, and you know what? Pretty good run. Obviously, like, some things could be improved. You can see, like, he has, like, an unnecessary strafe change there. There's no need for that. Back into left strafe. But 1999, gotta give him a break. Very nice run for the time being. Some of you might already be wondering, how can a level so short, so simple, have such enough content for SpeedLore? And I mean, you're in for a ride tonight, so let's watch the next run. This will be a man some of you may be familiar with, named Randy Buikema. He was the 4th person to beat the mark of 40 seconds. Our good friend Steven Jortiz was the first at 39 in early 2001. Sterling Neblet then also got 39. Wouter Jansen got 39. The interesting thing with Wouter's 39 is that it was never recorded. And when I joined the Elite in 2005, for example, Wouter's 39 was his only time on the rankings that wasn't proven. He had 59 out of 60 videos, which was insane back then. Absolutely insane. And the one time he was missing was Runway 00, and there's no Wouter video, which is really insane. Luckily, Randy has a video, and you guys are going to love the intro of this video. Look at this. Vintage. The intro card literally cut out the beginning of the run. This would never have been accepted as proof today with the first few frames of the run missing, thanks to that Windows Movie Maker or whatever program preceded Windows Movie Maker intro. Randy's, if you just caught that, Randy now is driving the tank backwards, which is a little bit faster. It is a little bit faster. No audio in this video, but really, really nice shots. There's the heavy drone gun emplacement. There it is. And gets out into the plane. And you can see some stuff. You can see like Randy drove the tank further than the others down the runway, got out later, you know, because riding the tank is faster. That's what you want. You want to basically be pressing B at the plane as you're kind of falling out of the tank. So very nice run from Randy there. A very good mark of 39 seconds. And that 39-second mark would stand for a long time. And we're going to watch some 39s. Here's our good pal Eise SMIT. Admiral SMIT. He got this time in 2001. Believe it or not. He was the 8th person to get it. And he is still an active player on the forum, which is absolutely like mind-blowing. Nice, very nice boost with the grenade there, and getting to, look at this, really wild grenade boost strat there. Gets a boost. I'm not sure if that was from the grenade or the KF7, but like he's going for the gusto, self-boosting on double agent, especially back then was very, very risky. Lines up a shot, hits the drone gun emplacement. That's the battery. That's why Objective C completes there. And then after he hits these 2 shots, you will see Objective B complete. Gets out, falls into the plane. And look at that. A beautiful 39-second time. Isn't that lovely? And 39, a lot of people had it. You know, of course, you know, I mentioned, you know, Steven, Jortis, Sterling, Wouter. 19 total people would get 39 by mid-2003. Karl's in chat right now. He was the 6th person to get this record, 39. Boss, you guys all know Bryan Bosshardt, the 14th person to get it. Brandon Sanford would get, you know, former top 10 player Brandon Sanford. A lot of interesting stories around him. He was the 19th person to get this time 39. But of course, we're very early in the episode. Of course, this wouldn't last forever. So who would be the one in mid-2003, late 2003, to take this even further? Well, of course, it was the one and only legend by the name of Bryan Bosshardt. Well, yeah, you know, subtract the boss dog brings a good point. So if 39 still were 69 points, that means, you know, only less than 30 people have beaten 39. Which is pretty insane to think about this. Now we're 14 years ago. Here's one of them. This run is really a thing of beauty. It really is. Gets the grenades. So again in right strafe, banks a grenade off, grabs the key, boost, does very little damage, gets another boost from the guard, KF7, primes the nade, a third boost. And 3 boosts was generally what you were hoping for. 3 boosts, a backwards tank, And a really good run is what you're hoping for a chance at 38. Look at these shots. Perfectly timed shots. And he's in the airplane as he's falling out of the tank. 38 seconds by Bryan Bosshardt. Truly amazing. Guess how long Bosshardt's 38 would be untied for? I mean, this guy was just an iconic legend in the game. It's almost mind-blowing, dude. It really is almost mind-blowing. Let's see if I can pull up a look actually here. Let's see if we can take a look. 38 seconds. I'm gonna bring up the rankings from 2003 here in a second. Look at this. November 30, 2003. 38. Look at all this pink and blue on the rankings. Boss untied. Boss untied. Boss. 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 And this wasn't even at the peak of his reign. Absolutely a legend. If you guessed 2 years, if you guessed that Boss would have that as an untied for 2 years, you'd be correct. More than 2 years. And who would come and untie? Who would slay Boss's legendary untied? Well, in 2004, a gentleman by the name of Ilari Pekkala came around to the rankings. He beat some levels on Dark License to Kill. You may remember him from the Aztec episodes of SpeedLore. And Ilu was coming hard. He had already slayed one of Boss's best untieds, damn Agent 53. And it wouldn't stop there. And now, watch this video and see if you can sort of pick up on anything that's a little bit different or you know, we know he was a creative fellow. Runway, 00 Agent, 38 seconds. And so, yeah, he actually... I thought it was the Runway X music, like you guys in here picked up on. But when I listened to the whole Runway, 00 Agent, or Runway theme, I actually noticed it, like, happens in the main Runway theme if you let it play for, you know, 2 or 3 minutes. So maybe, you know, it's quite cool how Ilu... Even when he wasn't being all that creative, he still had that little bit of a flow to him, you know? So that's really cool. And Ilu nailed Boss's 38. You know, Ilu was starting to come hard, and he would eventually reach second place on a long grind up the rankings. So there you have it. Ilari Pekkala, 38, tied Boss's 2-year untied. Really quite something. Who would be the next? Who would be the next to tie Runway 0038? Would it happen? Let's see if we can pull this up here. So here we are in November 05, and Boss and Ilu. Now we're really, the rankings are really pink. Boss has really taken over. And you know, I've come along. I've joined the rankings. I've got a couple I've got a couple records. Runway 23. Depot 26. Cradle 35 was pretty cool because I was a very new player, and I was the 4th person to tie 35. So I was kind of starting to flex and show my stuff, you know? And I don't know, I really don't remember what got into me, what inspired me. But I was the next person to tie Runway Double Agent 38. And this is a cool run. So you can see the guard there. You're hoping to not get a back, and then get a forward boost by him. Now you can't really quite see it there, but I'm at ghost health. So this explosion took away. So I was at 7 1/4, and I went down to 1 bar of health. You can barely make out that 1 bar of health. And if you take explosion damage, it's like you're at like 1.0001 bars of health. So you're slightly more than 1 if it's explosion damage. Then I get the other boost forward, and 3 boosts is what you wanted for 38. And you can also kind of see the strat is you cut both cutscenes right away, get the grenades, throw one to self-boost. See, I'm doing it all in left strafe. Boss did it switched to right strafe, which was a little bit unnecessary, really. For Boss, it's kind of a strange unoptimization, even back for 2003. But we're all in right strafe now. We're slowly improving, you know? Forward boost. You're hoping that guard is there and doesn't back boost you, and you can self-boost past him. And you would see, like, Eise was lobbing them in the air, agent style. It's obviously way hard to pull off. So there's the boost. Second boost, ghost health, 0 bars of health in the tank, turning it around. Usually you would die with 1 more hit on Double Agent, but I'm not exactly sure what the factor of health you get from the tank. But clearly a hit on Double O with ghost health doesn't kill you. That was I love that plane entry. That's beautiful, man. What a beautiful plane entry. 38 seconds, Runway Double Agent. And what's kind of interesting there is, even though I'm still known as someone who uses the 1.1 control style, really the only person left who uses 1.1, that was 1.2. You can't turn the tank, you can't run the tank backwards with 1.1. So even back in 06, when I was very fresh, I'd only been playing, less than a year. I was playing 1.2 on some levels, and I would get world records with it. So pretty cool. You bring up a very, very good question, Corky. How in the world can 38 be broken? How in the world can it be broken? And what if I told you now that 38 is still the record with this strategy? Let's let that sink in while we watch one more 38. The 4th person to get it, a young, aspiring top 10 player, Jimmy Bauer. Nice boost, no health damage. He does the lob. 3. Whoa. That was pretty cooked, Jimmy. Nice shot. Nice shot. I mean, hitting these 4 shots isn't easy. Go try it. Like, it's... Oh, beautiful. Enters the tank while he's still falling. What a graceful run. 38 seconds. The Jimmy Bauer. Come on, don't slow roll us like this, Jimmy. There we go. The 38-second run. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it was always sort of theoretically known. You start the level with 5 grenades, or you pick up 5 grenades right away. Could you possibly throw grenades at the heavy gun emplacements, skip the tank altogether, and even if you could, would it be faster? It's a tough question, man. It's a very, very tough question. And it's something that was pretty scary to find out. Now, I should add one more person, Michael K, Mouser Scribe, would also get 38. So 5 people had 38. So, you know, if this was today, 38 would have been way more tied than 5 people. And I mean, your Bismuth is saying, like, the tank goes faster than going by foot. That's true. It's obviously slower to go by foot. That's a reasonable thing to say. You have to run quite far away to go to the tank, though, so... Let's see what happened in June 2006. Some men know no bounds, and they just are always willing to push things to places that maybe they shouldn't go. And Bryan Bosshardt is one of those men, and he started experimenting to see if you could possibly complete the level without the tank. And I'm going to try to describe just how incomprehensibly difficult this is. Well, let's watch the run. There's the key. Primes a grenade here to throw it there, because you have 1 to spare. He throws a grenade there to blow up that drone. That alone is very difficult. Now, at some point here, he is going to start priming a grenade. If he primed it before that hit him, he would have lost the prime and lost the run. He would have been out of grenades. You have to start, like, if you're priming a grenade and you get hit, you throw the grenade. So that's no good. That messes you up. So he's probably priming now. 5-second cook time on these grenades. Throws it up here. There's the drone. Will that hit it? You can't quite see. There's a hit. That's coming from our drone. Probably primes right after that drone hits him. Now, if you notice, the drone stops shooting at him. If you approach it from a certain angle, it'll stop shooting at you. Objective B complete. Yes, Boss Kobe'd the grenades, and it's disgusting. And now he has to hit the battery after he nails those drones. He has to hit this battery. Not only that, but if he enters the plane now, the explosion hasn't blown up yet. There's the battery. The explosion. He enters, and it blows up in the fade. Bryan Bosshardt completed Runway Double Agent in 37 seconds, skipping the tank in June 2006. You know, I remember that was around the same time I mentioned in a previous lore about Illu getting Damn 117 and me seeing it from while checking the forums in accounting class, and I was just completely shocked. I think I had the same reaction to this one. This was June 27 though, so I was like trying to like figure it out. I'm like, school was probably over, but I just recall seeing 37, no tank completion, and it's incomprehensible. And you guys won't understand how incomprehensible it is until we see the next few runs and the next few years here. But let's rewatch this run in real time in all its glory. At any time, a guard can hit him, or if he misses a drone, it's obviously over, ruin the priming of his grenade, and it's over. Like, see, those shots are a drone. A drone is firing at him at pretty much all times. And what's sort of been discovered now, or understood after all of this has happened, is that The drones aren't random. The guard shots are random, so those can mess you up. The drones are not. And the drones, it's like you have to figure out where to walk and stand and run so that you're not going to get hit by the drones. And you can only do that through trial and error. So Boss must have tried this for hours and hours and hours to figure out exactly, like I'm talking exactly the path to stand on. Like I'm talking, he throws that grenade at that time, that little micro turn and that further turn, like that exact motion so that the drone would be out of his way so that he could throw the grenades. Not only that, but he had to learn which routes worked and not while having to contest with the guards messing him up too. Unbelievable. And to further illustrate just how messed up this is very recent, sort of, but you know, the TASers are crazy. They put together this thing called the Lua map, and you'll see in a second how explosions work here. The explosions work in pulses, and if you're playing the game, sometimes you'll notice the explosion's not like doing damage to you at all times. It's only doing damage to you in sort of cycles. And so there's a grenade thrown, there's a mine thrown. Watch, the grenade blows up, and you can see on this Lua map is this overlay that kind of shows you what's going on. So it 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the timeline: 1, 2, 3, 4. So the explosions have 4 cycles of damage. Sometimes what'll happen is like you'll see this a lot playing Runway Agent actually. Is you'll throw a grenade for a boost, it'll be ahead of you, it'll blow up, you'll run through it because you're in between one of the cycles, and then when you're on the other end of it, it'll boost you forward instead of you're running into fire, but getting a forward boost because you enter the fire in between a cycle, and you pass at the exit of the fire at when the cycle of damage is happening. So there's 4 instances of damage from an explosion. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now the thing is, if you watch closely on this boss 37, after he hits the drones, he has to hit this battery. And it has to be so precise that it blows up on the first cycle. There's the battery. They're starting to blow up. The first cycle of damage, it blows up. He's in the plane, home free, with Runway 00 Agent 37. So that has to be dead on. Absolutely dead on. And it was. And that run was maybe one of the most mind-blowing things we had ever seen back then. He is Willis. Okay. I resent having to show you guys this video next. But through the following year, I rose up in the rankings, Ilu rose up in the rankings, Clemens and Ace, they all showed up. No one would tie 37. It was in most people wouldn't even get 38 with a tank. People would get 39, get a 90-point time, and call it a day. So it would take a very special person, we'll say, who would do something as insane as attempting to try to tie Boss's 37, and indeed, some in chat have predicted it. I was watching this in preparation for this episode and, like, literally becoming nauseated. I have a CRT noise filter. It might not work. I hope you don't throw up, guys. You know, I mean, I'm just gonna. I literally got a headache there. I literally got a headache. Adam Bozon tied Boss's 37 yeah. Oh God, Corky. Yeah, there's Adam Bozon 2007, Mike Martin 1999. It's like I don't love to pick on these guys, but it's just it's too easy, and I feel like they deserve it because, you know, everyone was at least recording stuff on a VCR, and they would mail it to someone for a master copy. The worst part about it isn't that this was done in 2007. At least that's somewhat forgivable. But if you've watched my top 5 most stunning instances of degeneracy video, you would see that Bozon would continue recording in this exact same manner, pointing a webcam at a screen, filming for hours and hours, you know, hundreds of hours in some cases, and never realized it was, like, unacceptable or that he should maybe strive for better. And this isn't a guy who was, like, a poor guy in the ghetto who, like, literally couldn't afford a capture card, right? This was a guy who had the means to get proper equipment and just decided it wasn't worth his time. And I can't respect that. I really can't. Anyways. So, Bryan Bosshardt and Adam Bozon had 37 seconds on the level. Look, Boss is... I would say he's Boss is a little bit hard on himself. Boss always strives for the best of himself. Boss never takes it well. Bozon was, like, ranked below 50th. He had a few records. He was an interesting player. He had a few good times. But Bozon wasn't a top-tier player, and Boss despises. If a bad player ties one of Boss's records, Boss is like, no, like, this can't happen. I have to beat it. 3 days later, Boss got this run. "36 seconds, Runway Double O Agent, Boss untied the run again." Now, if you look carefully, the difference in the run between his 36 and 37 is right here. So, well, 36 was a lot smoother anyways, and he had more look down, and he actually had some boost, so 36 was probably really, really, really tough with the strategy used. But he throws it right here, there's a hit, then he starts priming, and then throws from, like, over there. So that's his third drone strat. On the 36, you'll see he throws this one, and then immediately, he must start priming immediately. Like, right there. So he got hit earlier. He must have known, or, like, learned through trial and error, because the literally only way to do it is, like, dozens of maddeningly insane hours on this level. There's a throw, there's an earlier hit, starts priming now, and gets hit again. So Boss must have known that if he turned at a different angle after the second drone's throw, he would get those 2 hits, and that it was a makeable throw. I mean, that throw's just demented. Like, that throw's... Like, what in the world, dude? Like, really? Objective B's gonna complete? Like... And then again here... That guard sounded like he was gonna hit him, too. And he would've been low health. It could've been a problem. This might be second cycle explosion, actually. Because it's not blown up right there. He's entering the plane, though. Like, the level's starting to fade out. Might be second cycle. Same mighty gone. I think what it is that stuff... I think Grav described it as, even though there's 4 cycles in the explosion, stuff doesn't blow up in the first cycle, so you don't really count the first cycle. The second cycle is the first cycle, so... Anyways. The drone, perfect throw, blows up as early as it can. Completes. Bingo. Frost hops, that is correct. And not only is that correct, that's correct on a stage that's 36 seconds long. So, like, yeah. And not very many people even had 36 at this, or 38 at this point. Because, you know, it wasn't a world record. You know, me, Ilu, Mouser, and Jimmy had it. Probably no one else did, honestly. Maybe a couple others. So 38 still was not very common. Boss's 36 would stay untied for a long time, guys. We're gonna have to travel through a little bit of time again here, you know. It's always cool to when you see a really insane time set. You gotta look back and see what's up. So, you know, let's get the old throwback machine going and take a look at the rankings at the time. So Boss had 36. Okay. Now we're seeing some more interesting stuff in the rankings, though. We're seeing characters like Ilu with his Aztec sweep. You guys know about that. Eise with his train sweep. You know, I'm coming off a silo agent, a silo sweep. You know, Clemens is on the rankings doing a lot of damage. Some big names have started showing up and doing work on the rankings. But Boss still had the untied world record on Runway. And, you know, of course, that was only a couple weeks after he got to 36. Let's skip to a year later. What's the total time here? 1:14:31? Okay, let's go to a year later. Boss still has the untied. Clemens has 157 damn 00. 4 people, 117. Silo has been, you know, donked down. I mean, look at these guys. Eise and Clemens 123. That's my PB now. Madness on the rankings. Truly great players doing damage. Look, is that 40 seconds dropped in 1 year off the total time? 40 seconds worth of untieds happened between November 30, 07 and November 30, 08. Unbelievable. And yet, Bryan Bosshart's Runway Double Legend 36 stood the test of time. Yes, Lockwood, there is your 46 on Egypt's secret agent. But alas, we would get into the mid 2009 era. Mid 2009, and something, again, if I just say it, that I'm resentful again that I have to show this run. You guys already know what's coming. I apologize in advance. We're gonna hit that mute button. Okay. I'm sorry to put you through this. But yes, Adam Bozon said, "No, boss. After a year and a half, I will get my second vengeance." And, yeah. There's a nice boost from the explosion. He got a self-boost there. He got another boost there. Priming the grenade. Tossing it up at the drone. So, Bozon didn't get that initial hit that Boss got. There's explosion. Ooh, that was a little... Oh, man, that was off base, and it still worked. Yeah, this is Bozon's dot, clearly. 36. Can you make it out? 36, okay? So, yeah, I mean... Again, I'm not too familiar with the route. I've never learned this strategy for Runway 00. I was sitting pretty with my 38. Hey, no need to improve that. And so Bozon doesn't get hit like Boss. There's some drone shots beside him. The cliff might have acted like some sort of barrier. No back boost. Launches it from there. I think what's happening here, actually, is that... So that drone, he just threw the grenade at that drone. He's priming. That drone is still alive, because that drone probably doesn't blow up for until the 3rd or 4th cycle. that drone boosts him forward, which releases that grenade and projects a little bit further to the next drone. But, like, imagine coming up with that on your own. It blows my mind, dude. How could anyone learn that? Oh, the drone behind me is just gonna... I'm gonna throw a grenade and blow up the drone. It's not gonna blow up immediately, and before it blows up, it can boost me forward to blow up the other drone. Like I say, thank God for INTJs, truly. Okay. Even his dot is terrible quality, Karl, exactly. Now, not too long after that, I have to introduce a new character. Let's get off the screen immediately. Hold on. Okay. Okay, perfect. We're off the screen. Bozon was a fairly random person to show up in the Elite and tie these really good times. And on a level like this, where it's a very specialized strategy, it's not like, something like a trained agent or a silo agent is pure raw skill. You just go. The strategy is the same for everybody, you just go. Runway 00 is very much learning the strategy and learning a very complicated thing with a lot of moving parts that no one actually wants to learn. It's very hard. Some random people can come along and do this. Like, it tends to be guys like Bozon, lower ranked players, who approach the game maybe differently, come and do it really well. A gentleman by the name of Cliff Hampton joined the rankings at some point around this time. And Cliff Hampton found himself to be one of the guys who really enjoyed playing these levels where you throw grenades, that you have strange strategies in. Cliff Hampton would get this run in October 2009. Doesn't get a boost off the explosion, but gets a guard hits him there. Oh my god. Oh. If these runs are making it look too simple, I recommend getting your GoldenEye cartridge. An emulator will be fine for this experiment. And literally just try to run and blow up this first drone. Give that a try and see how well it goes. This is just mind-disturbingly difficult. At the very end, this was nuts, man, because at the very end, he throws the grenade. A guard is he has 1.5 bars, the guard is charging him, hits him, one more hit and he's dead. I just heard the explosion. Cliff presses B. Oh, was that an early completion too? Or was that the other one? Hold on. Yeah, there's B on screen. Okay, no, that was still B on screen. The objective B completed for the drone stayed up late because he got hit a bunch of times. But Cliff got Runway 00 Agent 36. A pretty random player. Cliff's never been ranked. He's certainly never been ranked in the top 30. He might never have been in the top 50. And here he, so that's a very strange record. 36 seconds. Boss, Bozon, and Cliff? Really? What's going on here? Really? Well, something even stranger is about to happen. Because Cliff isn't gonna stop there. He plays Runway 00 Agent for about 2 months straight. And on November 29, 2009, he got this run. Nice boost. Runway double agent, 35 seconds. I truly don't know what happened on that run. I have to guess. Obviously, so the same kind of beginning as 36, maybe with more boosts and stuff. That's a lot of damage. Oh, the drones do 2 bars of damage, so that's you got hit twice by drones there. So 6.5 bars. So the drone behind him, which is about to be blown up by the grenade, boosts him, which throws that grenade. Then the other drone boosts him. So right after that drone boosts him, after the second one boosts him, he starts priming. And I guess that's the difference. He starts priming earlier on this route, chucks it, no health, and the timing on this, listen to the explosion and listen and see his entry. I have no idea how this was like timed. This was frame perfect entry. Yeah, the guard there was a good mate, I would say. So, it's time... You know how sometimes you're watching a movie or a story and you really just gotta jump into the future? Well, that's about to happen. This is just mind-blowing stuff. That record would go down in history, okay? Let's look at the rankings on November 30th, 2009. Cliff had just achieved the day before his 35-second run. The overall combined time of the game was 13:43. Okay? Let's do some traveling. There's Ryan Lockwood's Egypt 46 double agent. Gonna flex on that a bit. Okay. Here's another random individual, Graham Maddox with Surface 249 untied. So, we're in an era where some new people, some strange folks are coming along and getting these untieds. But let's jump a year into the future, okay? So remember, 113.43. Let's jump a year into the future. 2010, 35 is still untied. We've cut off 28 seconds in total time from the year. 28 new seconds of untieds have happened, and Cliff's still untied at 35 seconds. Let's jump another year into the future. How about that? Wow, Cliff is still untied. At this point, Mark Rutsu's come along, got his legendary damn untieds. Cliff nailed another untied on Surface 2 Secret Agent. We're going to talk about these levels in a bit as well. Crazy, wild stuff. We're going to do a lore episode on them next year for sure. 35 still standing strong. Mark has now come to train, got his Train 58, legendary Train 58. Another 13 or 15 seconds have dripped off the rankings. Some really remarkable stuff is starting to happen. Let's go another year in the future. Let's see what happens in 2012. Now we're going to enter the Twitch era. Wow. Cliff 35 still untied. Boss Runway 22 Secret Agent, insane run. Mark with these Surface 1148 oldies, Jimmy Bauer's 218 on statue. Streets 112 has now happened. The future is here, folks. A further 10 seconds cut off the rankings, and still Cliff's 35 stays strong. Let's jump another year. Now we're in the Twitch era, late 2012 to late 2013, the full Twitch era. Let's see what happens. Oh my good lord, Cliff's 35 is still untied. It's been 4 years. 4 years. Ace now has Facility 52s. Bunker 2 is now 23. Luke Pettit's 105 now exists on Frigate Double Agent. Ace with a Jungle Sweep. Mark, train sweep. You know, wow. 4 years of Untides. It's the really crazy thing about this is that the Untitled was set in 2009, which was sort of at the tail end of the golden era, maybe into the sort of the dead era. You know, 2009, 2010, 2009 especially, was very quiet in the Elite. Kind of a lost year in a lot of ways. It was strange. And then for it to last 4 years, Mark joined, others, great players joined, the Twitch era began, still untied. It's just... nothing makes sense, man. It would make it into the top 10 untides of all time. You know, fewer than 10 records have stood for that long. You know, like, what a run. That's how good that run is. The 10th longest untied is of all time is 1,403 days. So, you know, how that's not even 4 years. Yeah, there's been 8 runs in history that have made it 4 years untied. That's one of them. And I mean, it's just, think about it. Think about how much, like, we are all playing GoldenEye every day. To have it untied for 4 years is just wow. Wow, just wow, as they say. Okay. Cliff, who, if you had to guess who would beat 35, if it ever happened, who would it be? Maybe it'd be Cliff himself. This is a run Cliff got in 2013. And, like, his CRT capture is actually pretty decent, I would say. He self-boosts. These are the lengths Cliff is going for 34 if it's possible. Another self-boost. Another boost. Insane throw. The run failed. He entered the plane a frame too early, or as Ace would call it, a Yocto frame too early. He clearly hit that. He had to enter at 34 seconds, and the explosion didn't happen. It failed. Unbelievable. But, I mean, that just shows you the kind of guy he was. He wasn't, like I say, he wasn't even the top 50, but he was grinding for that to improve. Runway 00 was his baby. He was going and going and going for it. All right. I'm almost an hour in. I haven't even got to the point of the story yet. Well, you know, Cliff's 35 is the climax. Really, it's the iconic thing of this run. If you're watching the thumbnail, the title is called the Cliffhanger of this episode. The thumbnail, that's not actually Cliff Hampton. We don't know what he looks like. We've never seen a picture of him. He wasn't that involved in the community, which makes it more insane. The guy in the thumbnail is a random guy named Cliff Hampton, so yeah, sorry to you if it's not, you know, but yeah, apparently Cliff was 30 or 40 years old when he joined and was doing these runs as well. So, like, he was an old, established family guy, and he would just chill out with some Runway 00 attempts. And that was it, and he was a legend. One day in 2014, maybe the most methodical of all speedrunners GoldenEye has ever known, decided, I'm going to play Runway 00 Agent and go for 37. And he did, and he got 37. And I asked him about what happened before then, and he just said, you know, when I got 37, it just clicked. 35 just clicked. Here's a speed run. Alright, Riolo just said that Cliff was 35 when at 35, so that would put him at board in 74. The guy's, 43 now. Insane. Nice self-boost there. Nice boost there. Oh, you can see that forward boost. Oh. This speedrun was performed in April 2014 by a man by the name of Karl Jobst, who some of you have come to know now. The time did not save. What that means is that the last objective completed on the last frame of the fade out. Okay? There. There, maybe. Maybe there. When the objective completes in the last frame, you don't get the end cutscene, it says completed, and the time doesn't save. Maybe if Cliff entered one frame later on here, he would have had a time not saved 34. Maybe. One frame later, but he didn't. And Karl got the 35, finally tied Cliff's 4.5-year-old untied world record. I mean, if you guys have seen Karl go for Dan 52, the guy is just completely methodical. He looks at the runs like no one else does. He obviously figured out what Cliff was doing for 35. He figured out Cliff's exact path, and he nailed it in the way only Karl can. What happened next? Well, when one pin falls, oftentimes others do too. But in the true spirit of Runway Double Agent, a new challenger by the name of Walton Mattei, a new leader, someone not even ranked in the top 100, came along and said, hey, Cliff can do it, I can do it too. This is the run of Walton Mattei. Really nice throw, gets the boost, kills the guard who was going to trying to back boost me, you know. Throw, prime now, throw. Oh. Walton Mattei, the hot shot, with a runway 0035. Pretty nice run, mate. Pretty nice run. Our old friend Bryan Bosshardt would join in the fun. Bryan Bosshardt said, hey guys, don't leave me out. I can still play Runway Double Agent, and indeed he can. Now, I should point out that Karl's 35 was in 2014. Walton and Boss's were not done until 2015, almost a year later. So for about a year, Cliff and Karl shared the tied record at 35. But here's Boss, no health Boss. Oh! I mean, that was what we would call a 160 IQ GoldenEye move. Boss was gonna die. He knew he had a good grenade throw, but he's like, this guard's gonna hit me. I just gotta enter the plane, dude. Blew up in the last frame, and it is a 35 time not saved. And there we are in March 2015, and 1 hour into this episode, things are going to change drastically. you know, obviously a lot of new people had joined at this time. And some people are better or have different skill sets, as we've obviously seen. You know? So, some people are like Cliff and Walton, who can get these insanely interesting runs on these unique levels. Some people are more into studying how the game works. And they're always looking for strategy, and they're very valuable as well. You know, some people will say, oh, speedrunning is entirely competitive, or speedrunning is entirely collaborative. And the reality is that it's somewhere in between. If speedrunning was entirely collaborative, some people will argue this. A lot of the, you know, guys who oppose my sort of views on speedrunning overall will say it's entirely collaborative. Well, then why doesn't literally only the best, most skilled player run and everyone else just helps them with strats, right? That'd be the case if it was entirely collaborative. But if speedrunning were entirely competitive, well, then no one would share strategies ever. So it is somewhere in between, I admit that. A gentleman by the name of Eise Speedruns was one of the guys who found his way to the elite at some point and was playing around. And I'm not going to show you the entirety of this video, but, you know, what he's in effect trying to do is throw the mine and the grenade even further than ever thought possible before. So, in May 2015, Eise threw this mine that would change history. You can see how much further, that's like twice as far as the one he had just thrown. So what was discovered is that, and you'll see in a second, is that if you're aiming and you hit the strafe button, you move really quickly to one direction. If you can throw the explosive in that frame, the projectile goes super, super far. Randy then would experiment it as well. This is called my first crazy far extended mine throw for surface.
Where the hell did that one go?
Where did that one go, Randy? Let's take a look.
Where the hell did that one go? Hello? Oh my god, is it the explosion over there? Okay, that's like the best thing I've ever done in this game.
This is Randy Buikema, who we saw got 39, one of the first guys at 39 earlier in the stage. He actually came back to the Elite recently, 2014 or so, 13. And he, Randy's really interesting and cool because it kind of reminds me, and you'll see in a second, of like, those athletes who they're past their prime, but they're not quite washed up. But they're past their prime, certainly, but they can still do some really, really good work every now and then. It's like an old veteran in the NHL or the Olympics still making a big difference on his team, or some guy like Phil Mickelson still showing up and winning the British Open despite his older age, right? So these older guys can still pull it out every now and then, and Randy's role certainly has become a little bit like that in the Elite over the past years. Yeah, you guys are naming some good names in chat there. Once this throw was discovered and refined, within a couple days, the record was improved on Surface 2 Agent, because that's that's the level we're looking at. We're looking at Surface 1, but the level where you throw stuff, and that's all you do. Well, there's Runway 00, there's Surface 2. Surface 2 Agent and Surface 2 Secret Agent, the records improved within the week. 47 happened on Agent, which was a new untied by Randy. 48 happened on Secret Agent, which was a new untied by Randy, within a week or two. So immediately, the Arlene, That's what we call this massive throw. The Arlene had influence. Huge influence. But time went on, and it was something that was probably mostly only useful on surface 2. I mean, it's just madness to attempt the Arlene on Runway Double Agent amidst all the guards, just the nonsensical guards doing crazy stuff all the time, boosting you. How can you pull off an Arlene on Runway Double Agent? Well, our Runway 00 specialist, Walton Mattei, would attempt to do so. A little bit of a stuck on the ramp. Of course, since he's going to attempt to use the Arlene, it doesn't have to be like a pristine run, you know? So starts out pretty similar to the 35. There's an Arlene. So now he's doing the battery before the other grenade, before the drones. So he doesn't have to wait at the end, like Boss and Cliff and everyone else had to do. There's an Arlene. There's an Arlene. Now book it to the end, baby. Our boy Hotshot. Runway 0034. The time Cliff would never get. Look at that, 15 thumbs up. Mark Roots, who hasn't found this video yet. Pretty insane. Let's watch another run by another gentleman. Because, you know, obviously, there was a lot of dead time in that run. Like, was that the optimal route? Well, you know, surely this is a very fresh strategy. Surely can be optimized. A guy named the Luge would try to optimize this run a little bit further. At this point, though, a year has passed. Walton's 34 is untied for over a year. We're now into 2016. We're getting into recent times now, which is kind of crazy. How much time has just flown by. But here's a guy, the Luge, again, not in the top 100. That was a very interesting how he shot out that guard to reduce the chance of getting back boosted or messing up his grenade priming. There's an Arlene. He's gonna sit by the plane. Bold strategy, man. The plane blew, but objective B, the drone's completed. Look at that. Could have had a world record, maybe. But the plane blew up. Kind of shows you, like, this strategy is clearly underdeveloped. Clearly needs work. This one isn't going to work for our pal, the Luge. Very interesting, though. Interesting proof of, like, concept of what's possible, you know? Here's Mastermind Randy, the inventor of the refiner of the Arlene. Gonna do some work. See if he can pick up the unfinished business of the Luge and make sure Walton's Untied doesn't last as long as Cliff's. So here's September 25, 2016. Randy Buikema, the old veteran. Randy was a former dual champion of the game. I'm going to show you in a second. There's a back boost. So Randy literally was the champion of GoldenEye and Perfect Dark at the same time in 2001. An absolute monster. Again, you know, past his prime, but he can still beast it every now and then, as we're going to see here. And now, if you've been watching my stream all year, what you just saw might look familiar to something you may have seen. Runway 00, 34 seconds. Pretty good. Actually, let's see if I can pull in something quickly here. You know, Randy, like, he's a baller. Like, look at this. This is speedrun wiki page. Randy Discombobulator Buikema was the first person in Elite history to become dual champion. Simultaneously ranked first in GoldenEye Perfect Dark. Here he is spinning a N64 on his finger like a basketball. What a baller. What a guy. Randy Buikema. What a legend. Look at that guy. Pretty cool stuff. So, let's see. He has some interesting comment about 34 as well. Worst possible boost ratio without failing the run, but I'll take it. R lean world record sweep. Pretty cool stuff. So he got the world record on Runway 00, Service 2 Agent, Service 2 Secret Agent, all the levels that use R leans. But Randy would not stop there, okay? Of course he wouldn't. Let's try to improve things, Randy, shall we? This was 4 days later. September 29th, 2016. There's a nice throw. We're kind of evolving the strat a little bit. Pings off the Arlene. Primes the grenade. Turns. Another Arlene. Boosted. Prime. Arlene. Explodes. Presses B. Completes in the fade. Oh, baby. Runway double agent. 33 seconds. Randy, the following day, he would get it to where he wanted it. September 30th, 2016, baby. Sometimes, every now and then, you see someone just go completely mad on a level. And that's what we've seen here. Beautiful, beautiful Arlene. Beautiful. Pings it off. I'll explain to you the difference of what happened. Oh. Runway 0032. Here's the difference, okay? If you watch his 33. So here's the second drone. He's gonna prime now. Turn, line it up. He gets hit. He gets a forward booster, which is bad because it messes up his position. So then he has to wait till he gets hit again. So he has to wait about a second there. He gets hit. Now he can start priming. Turns and Arlene's. Runs to the end and hits the plane. And that's his 33. On his 32, if you watch after the second drone, he doesn't get hit at all. So no hits, there he gets hit. So he doesn't get that same forward boost. So on this strategy, you are required to wait until this drone hits you. Like you have to. And then start priming. Get to that point. Do the Arlene. The back boosts don't matter that much because he's waiting for this drone to explode still. So it's not a huge deal. But there we go. Randy Buikema, Runway 0032. Really absolute madness. Yeah, let's have a look at some of his what his comments are on these times. So 33, Randy says, "Thank you, Hotshot, for pioneering the Arlene on Runway 00. Thank you, the Luge, for inspiring me to play this level again. I hope you can keep going. Get that 32 or better." Like Randy's writing a diary here. Get the 32, Luge. It's like Randy's in the war writing a letter that's going to go 3 weeks overseas. His work is done at 33. You know, dear mother, tell Hotshot to thank him for... Tell the Luge good luck. Also, in typical Runway 00 fashion, I was cucked out of 32 at the end. Can only be expected, though. Untied Arlene sweep is imminent. Randy, the next day you played again, dude. I wasn't happy with the Untied, so I untied the Untied. Unbelievably happy this time. My favorite ever. And that's coming from a guy who's been the dual champion in GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. His favorite time ever, this Runway 0032. That is pretty mighty. Now, before we look at what's going to happen next, I'm just going to wipe a few tabs here. Your Google Chrome is not too happy with me having 50 tabs open, so let's close out about a dozen or so, and carry on to where Runway Double Agent, where the winds will bring us next. All right. So, what could be next? Let's listen to something very interesting, actually. So, for the 20th anniversary of GoldenEye was this year. An actual legend. I know you guys might think us players are legends. An actual legend, Dr. David Doak, developer of GoldenEye, reached out to me and was like, "Hey Goose, I've been watching some of your GoldenEye videos. It'd be great to chat about GoldenEye. Let's do it." And so Doak and I chatted this year. We had about a 2.5 hour talk. It is available. I had posted to the forums, but I kind of want to get it out in it's very long. I want to get it in pieces and whatnot that are more kind of refined to a point as opposed to a whole overarching long segment. But here is what Dr. David Doak, developer of the game, had to say about the Arlene. Obviously, it came up is something that we chatted about. So here's 3 minutes of him talking about the Arlene. If you watch what I played and recorded this, if you watch the motion I'm putting on here, I'm doing the leans right and left. So you can see how far you're moving. And that's the one frame in there you're having to hit the throw on for it to go really far. So you'll see how fast you can move right or left. And then if you're seeing me move all the way to the right and left, that's a double lean. So just watch what we're doing here in the first minute and listen to the lovely sounds of Dr. David Doak. This is really cool. I'm going to turn it up for this.
I was going to say, the thing about the leans and the throwing stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that's just a bug. I can see.
Cool.
And the reason it's a bug is, so mines and stuff. You're running around and throwing stuff. Obviously, when you throw something, it has to inherit the speed that you're traveling at before you throw it.
Yes.
Because otherwise you get funny effects. So, if you're running forward, you threw something and it didn't inherit your running forward speed, then you just drop it on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So that has to work. So, and that probably works really consistently and well. However, the leans are a bit of a fudge. So on the lean, it's like you're pressing a button and suddenly you're moving at a speed which you shouldn't really be able to move at.
Okay.
But you only move a very small distance. Yeah?
Well, exactly. So it doesn't seem like it's not intended that way, though. Because it's like if you're holding the aimer and then you hit the strafe, you do move like super fast, but you move that small distance.
And what happens is then, you're getting it frame perfect. So you're saying, on that frame, where you're moving super fast and you press throw, the logic for deciding what the grenade should be thrown at goes, how fast is he moving? Oh, he's moving really fast.
Exactly, yeah.
It wasn't deliberate. I mean, I described that to Martin, and we were both kind of going, oh yeah, it's clearly a bug.
Oh, that's really funny, because like for me looking at it, it seems like it makes sense because you are moving that fast for one frame, right?
Yeah.
And so there's sort of yeah,
and it happens because the logic in the code is good logic. I mean, it's a logical thing.
Exactly.
However, from a game design point of view, it's like it doesn't make any sense. It's a bug because it requires a precision of interaction with a controller that you wouldn't expect most people to be able to attain.
Sure.
That makes it a bug. It's like kind of it's just too hard to do. And I mean, if we'd intended it, then if it was an intended behavior, then there would probably be somewhere in the game, you would have designed somewhere in the game where it was necessary.
Of course.
Yeah, it'd be like, there'd be some stupid objective where it's like, oh, we can't possibly destroy that up there, but maybe if you really tried.
Yeah. So there you have it. There's Dr. Doak's input, and yes, it is a real guy. Dr. Doak on the facility objective was named after him, but he's a real guy. A legend. And he was talking there about how I sent him a couple questions, and he called Martin Hollis, another developer of the game, and they chatted, and like he said, they talked about it, and decided it was a bug. But it's like the crazy thing that's kind of really cool is like, I imagine these guys, they were literally about our age. They were 25, 30, making GoldenEye 007, working on this amazing legendary thing. And then I kind of see like us streaming, playing the game, getting these insane speedruns, making these SpeedLores for people to enjoy. I kind of see the community, like I kind of imagine they had a lot of experiences hanging out with the boys, working on something really cool. Kind of similar to how the Elite community is now. We got a bunch of guys hanging out, having a good time working on cool things. But yeah, there you go. So Doak said that it wasn't intended, however, because you are actually moving that fast. You'll see me lean. Look at that lean. Look at that lean. From right, that's the R lean. That we're gonna see the double lean is when you go all the way left to right. When you're moving that fast, like the game understands how fast you're moving, and that's why you throw it super far. So that was kind of cool to find out that, especially when I said it wasn't intended, but it's sound. The way it works makes sense. But that's pretty cool. And it was kind of interesting to know. Okay, so Randy got a 32 untied. But the question was this. You could see in there, right? I'm kind of showing that a double lean is possible. We're only using the single lean on Runway 00. Could the double lean be used to get a really insane time? Maybe it could. Let's watch a theoretical double lean strat, actually. Okay? This is Randy again playing. Let's see what it would look like if we could maybe incorporate the double lean and throw from even further. So just start out the same. Misses the battery throw. Here's a double lean coming. Another double lean coming. Oh my god, that's so much faster. The battery failed. He completed the drones. Randy completed the drones in this run. If he hit the battery throw, it would have completed. "29 seconds. Confirmed possible on Runway 008 with the double leans. So, Randy knew this was possible. A couple others knew it was possible. And our pal Graviton was like, I can't let Randy get 29 when the next best time is 34 by Walton. We can't let Randy have a 5-second untied on a 30-second stage. It's insane. So Graviton, Ryan Gibbs set out and was like, we can't let this happen. Look at these throws, man. Oh. That's funny, Danny Ray. Ryan Gibbs. And Ryan take it away. He did. He took away Randy's untied record, tied the 32 about a month after Randy got it, October 2016. So 2-way tied at 32, and the race is on for 28. And so you can see, with this massive strategy development, that's why I really want to do this episode on this level. Now, I promised Luke I would include this. Grav's introduction to the elite is very interesting because some of you will know he ran Pilot Wings, Blast Corps at GDQ events. And so we were there at GDQ 2015, and I guess Grav always kind of admired GoldenEye speedruns. He liked N64 stuff, IL stuff. And so we kind of started to meet him and chat with him. And Luke was watching him play Pilot Wings, watching him play this Dark Cavern level. And Luke was like, man, that's a really cool IL individual level grind. And Luke's like, I'm going to take your Dark Caverns record from you. And after GDQ 15 happened, Luke went back to Australia, got Pilot Win 64, and did. And they had this insane back and forth rivalry on Dark Caverns Pilot Wings. Really remarkable stuff. It was cool to watch them play it in the practice room. I guess it was, we were actually in the casual room, which is the most serious room of all, believe it or not. Funny how these things work. But that's where Grav's sort of introduction formally to the elite came from. He's been a very influential member since. Grav is very, very interesting because he only plays levels he can world record on. And so if you look at Grav's times page, it looks really stupid. He has something like 40 NAs, which means there's no time listed. Like, he has no time submitted, but he has 14 records. So he has 45 stages with no record submitted, 14 world records, and 1 non-world record. So he only really plays stuff where he has a chance at a record. Very interesting method to his madness, but there you have it. And he is a guy who can do the 28 strategy. It could happen, man. Let's watch our run, though, because someone else was like, you know what? I'm going to get back into this, man. In January 2017, our good friend Hotshot, Walton Mattei, was like, hey, man, I was the first to get an Untitled on Runway with the Arlene. I can probably do it. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we can do here. Nice lean. Oh man, not even like, I don't know how he knew where he was there. Oh. Hotshot Walton Mattei tied the 32. Very, very solid run. Okay, there's going to be a little bit now of like drama to catch up on the Elite forums. That are, we're going to get into a say. Let's watch this run. It's another Randy run. Now that 32's been established as a tied record, it's time for Randy to pick it up a notch. What can Randy do? Let's see. Nice boost. Drills the battery throw. Looks good. Oh! A 28 fail! Dude, if you look here, you can see the throw, like, barely missed. There it is. And, like, the drone's up here. Barely missed. Pretty insane stuff. Okay. So, let's catch up on some madness. Okay? In January 2017, when also was happening, Randy and Grav were both going for 28, 29. A lot of us were saying, like, hey man, you know what? We know how GoldenEye works. There's good chances you guys aren't going to get 20 or 29. The first run you guys get is going to be like 30 or 31, right? Of course it is. Grav begged to differ. Grav made this thread. He was so mad. Grav was so mad about all of us saying, Grav, you're going to have to get 30 first, man. You're going to have to get 30 first. Okay, so Grav was saying 28's rare, 99% of runs are 29, 1% of runs are 30. So the chance of his first Runway Double Agent post of 2017, this is January, by the way, being a 30 is 1 in 100, which is a chance of getting 30. And then he was frank. Grav said he was not going to post 30 even if he got it. So it was a 1 in 10,000 chance that he would post 30. And then, multiplies by Randy getting 30, which is also a 1 in 100. And then, him dying, 1 in 10 trillion are the odds that 30 would be the next record posted to the ranks. I mean, 31 is even worse odds. 31's way worse odds. Miscellaneous odds for comparison. Dying from a vending machine, 1 in 112 million. Winning Powerball, 1 in 292. Austin getting Streets, 111. 1 in 3 billion. That's a little bit of a teaser for next episode, actually. Larkin getting a rel time, 1 in 55 billion. That's not going to happen anytime soon. GoldenEye getting back into a GDQ, 1 in 6. Interesting post. Okay? And then Alec, the proof moderator, this thread was Alec and Grav butting heads. So Alec was saying, if you get 30, post it, man. The proof moderator Alec can post times to the rankings. Alec is Trouble Clef in chat right now. He's commenting. Alec McDonald chatting in the chat. And it got to a point where Alec said, hey, Grav, if you get 30 and you don't post it, I will post it for you. And yes, of course, Alec and Grav are cool, but this is E-drama. It's hilarious. It's fun to look at. So, yeah. Anyways, Grav's basically saying, I'd rather have Doom 64 sub 41 than 60 on Tides and Gold. It's a side game. It's just a hobby. Grav doesn't really care. And then here's me chiming in. Grav said the odds of him and Randy dying are 1 in 10 million. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure the odds of 2 random men dying in a year, are more likely than 1 in 10 million. Pretty sure. Anyways, Randy chimes in. I feel I should finally chime in. I can't play at the moment. I got no 30 fails. 2% chance at 28, 98% chance at 29. Can't play. He says 32 double agent is easier than Surface 1102. And I said, Runway double agent 32, 3 perfect double Arlene throws in a chaotic mess of explosions, leg and guard boosts is easier than Surface 102. Ha. Nice one. Grav. And then Grav has my kind of back on that point. He agrees 102 is pretty easy. And then Grav says, Runway 0032 only requires hitting a 50-50 trick 3 times. And I say, 50-50 trick. Ha. I mean, really? You're gonna tell me that these throws are 50-50, but really? Deal comes in here and says stuff. Karl, people who are not expert at strats should listen to people who are experts. I always love my golf analogies. Imagine Tiger Woods telling your average golfer, yeah, this putt is like a 50-50 chance of making it when he lines up on hole 13 at the Masters. Pretty fair point, I gotta say. Just because the best can do it 50% of the time doesn't mean everyone can. Disco. I'm not asking you to learn routes. Just try some stuff. If we're going with golf analogies, this is closer to playing mini golf, where the cups are the size of basketball hoops and the course has 3 holes with no obstacles. That sounds pretty easy. Only downside is every once in a while some jackass shoots you in the back while you're in your swinging motion. It takes 32 seconds to complete the course. Randy, that's a little bit, I don't know, man. Really? Mini putt with, come on. It's not at all like playing mini putt with no obstacles on basketball hoop size holes. And every now and then, some jackass shoots in the back. That's 99% of runs, Randy. Come on. And then Icy says, you can't teach an old goose new strats. And then I say this, hey, Randy, you're wrong. It's not like mini golf with basketball hoops. It is more akin to playing, trying to chip a golf ball through a basketball hoop from a football field's distance away while having 8 sandbags perfectly balanced on your head with your dick out, pissing, and not getting a single drop on the toilet seat or floor from 40 feet in the air. Imagine on a 40-foot high platform trying to chip a golf ball 100 yards into a basketball hoop while whizzing and hoping that you don't spill a single drop. Good luck. That's an accurate description of Runway Double Agent, in my opinion. And Alec loved it. Now, Ace with some levity here. Surely there must be a chance of 31 as well. Surely. Shouldn't leave that as exactly 0. I'd agree, Ace. I'd agree. In fact, I'm willing to bet you'll land on 30 or 31. 100% sure. Remember this post, boys. Remember that post. All right. Let's get back to looking at a couple speed runs here, shall we? Okay. Let's look at a couple. We're experimenting some Arlene's. We're seeing what can work and what not. Grav told me that when trying to develop the 28 and 29 strat, he's literally spent 40 hours just trying throws. Isn't it, Karl? Isn't it? And he says Randy probably has twice that, so 80 or 100. Yeah, good call. Trouble, I'm going to get back there in a second. Let's show these 2 throws and get back there. Here is what Grav calls the glitchy throw. So, occasionally, the throw goes even further. Look at, it's in a low leg situation, the throw goes even further. It makes no sense whatsoever. It just does. Look at that, how far that was. In Randy's 28 fail, he was kind of by the plane when he completed that throw. Grav is, miles away. And then Henrik found one where, right around the time that Arlene was found, if you fall off the ledge, that ledge at the beginning of Runway, it can go really far. So that's pretty interesting stuff too. Okay, it's like, really, this is good logic in the game, which is the most insane part. I should get back into this this chaos. So what eventually happened is that Randy took a 29-second fail on Runway Double Agent. Some people were critical of Trouble Clef's ability as a proof moderator. Some wanted to oust him. And so Grav thought, if I can make a fake 30 and not post it, like I said I wasn't going to post a 30 anyways. If I make a fake 30 and post it to, say, speedrun.com, a place we don't actually keep the ranks, and Alec takes a fake run off of another site and posts it to the elite, that should kind of discredit him from being a proof moderator. Maybe it'll oust him. Grav did this. Grav made a fake 30 run. We were really hoping Alec would see it happen. And then take it and post it to the elite. It never ended up happening. Randy couldn't keep it a secret. Randy was the one who couldn't keep the lid shut. He spilled the beans. But here's 2 of the same runs. You'll see how easy it is to splice it's a reminder of how easy it is to splice an end screen. Both are the same run. One simply has a completed end screen with a 29-second time. And, Randy, the guys were trying to pull some pranks in early 2017, and Randy just wouldn't have it. See, on the right, it just is all it is a completed screen spliced in. same run, same exact run. Could have completed. Oh no, could have completed. I know this is a slow roll, but we'll see. Oh, come on, let's get to it. Let's get to it. All right. Okay, perfect. Okay, so yeah, 29 timeout saved compared to or 29 failed compared to a 30 timeout saved. Anyways, there you go. That certainly is an interesting piece of lore in addition to this level. So, where next? Where do we go next? Okay, this is where we go next. It's me. Some will remember. It was April 2017. This was hell. If you guys, were there, you would realize how difficult this strategy is. Complete hell. I still had 38 as my PB. It still held up. It was still worth mid 80 points. It really was. It was still worth a lot of points. There was no need to go for a better time. But I was like, I had just been playing Breath of the Wild. I needed a level to ease me back into the game, and because Rummy 00 isn't one of those train agent or silo agent levels that's like hardcore skill, all out insane skill. It was a good level to kind of get back into. Let's try to learn the new strategy, Let's try it. Let's see what happens. And it was a tough process. I spent 3 or 4 weeks, probably 2.5, 3 weeks without really much success. Grav drew this for me. I was having a hard time. This is actually very useful. He drew this map of the level for me. And so I was hitting the first drone in the battery fine. The second drone I could hit, but the third drone is like, that's the hardest part of the level. And Grav drew this map. You see bond path, throw. He emphasizes really U-turn. You're going to get boosted by the drone at the entry to the roadway, and then again by the center line. And before I would kind of cut it short, I would kind of go from where it says throw directly to the boost point. I went to the full U-turn. And once Grav drew this for me, it really did start to click. And I wish I could show my entire grind. It was agonizing, especially after just having played Breath of the Wild. Is such a beautiful thing. Back to the GoldenEye grind, and some of you remember being there for it. Lots of times playing 5, 6, 7, 8 by steps to get me amped up. This is a great run. I love this run. I'm gonna boost it. Yep. I knew it. I called it. I could sense it. Yep. You see how annoying this level is? You really see? Well, Wikis, we better switch over the stream to, or something after I get this time then. So, could have done it. Let's go. This has a chance. Yes! Oh! This is fucking 32. I don't even give a shit. Taking a fucking 32 to the fucking bank. Yes! Fuck yes! Oh! Fuck you, Runway. Holy fucking shit. Fucking degenerate cuck level. Fuck you, Runway. Oh. I'm very happy, very relieved. Yeah, you can see on screen here it says PB 38 from 2006. The record's 32. And there we have it. Something that's kind of interesting. You see this video is 14 minutes long. So I did kind of give a mini Runway lore. I talk about the strategies. I had to, got to produce content, homie, right? So, people seem to enjoy this. I give a mini lore. If you have on the subtitles for this video, I don't know. Okay, that's gonna just, okay, let's just not dick around there. apparently, if you have the subtitles, it talks, instead of saying Arlene, like, you know what I'm saying, it automatically picked up the name, like the woman's name Arlene, the female name Arlene, which was kind of interesting. You know, it's kind of funny how these, you know, these things get picked up, how Google hears you, or maybe a translator hears you. Now, this was quite an interesting thing that we noticed later on. You know, it was a terrible hurricane season. You know, our thoughts to everyone affected, certainly. But, you know, when the hurricanes were passing through in mid-2017, I was looking at the 2017 Atlantic hurricane season Wikipedia page, seeing Harvey and Jose and Nate and Maria and all these. And I noticed, hey, what's this little... Look at this hilariously adorable hurricane spinning circles in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. What hurricane was that? Look at this little cute little hurricane not hurting anybody. Oh, so sweet. Well, wouldn't you know it? It was Hurricane Tropical Storm Arlene. And not only this, Arlene existed from April 19 to 21. That's when I was going for Runway 0032. You know, what are the odds? What are the odds? I would get it on the 27th of April, but I had been playing and streaming those nights, doing my Arlenes, while Tropical Storm Arlene was doing her thing in the mid-Atlantic Ocean. Isn't that just something so sweet? Okay, so one of the reasons why I was going to do this SpeedLore episode, you know, we're in January, I knew 28 was possible. We all knew 28, 29 was possible. And I was like, okay, someone will get 28, 29. It'll make a great episode. I can end this massive journey we've just been on with the final boss of Runway. Really. You know, great, I can show 28 after all these years of evolution. Well, February, March, April happened. No one got 28. Grav said, don't worry, Goose. 100% me and Randy will get 29 or 28 by the time you do lore. 100%. 100%. May, January, July. I'm doing my lores. I'm pushing off Runway 00 to the end because I'm waiting for it. Still no one got 20 or 29. August, September, October. Still nothing. I gotta show you at least a couple more things before we end here. This is the controller Grav uses for 28, 29 potential. So he has the C button, the down C button removed. He doesn't use it. I mean, it back strays with 1.2 control style. So you don't want it anyways on this level. Here, he's going to explain how he does the double leans, okay?
So here's the original way to R-lean. You hold R to stop, up C, right C to strafe right, and your R-lean position. Hold Z to prime the grenade. And then you release C to throw the grenade, and then hit C left to lean it left. And the new way to R-lean is the same thing, except you hold R, hold up C, right C, hold Z, and then instead of releasing Z, you press A to weapon switch, and the weapon switch makes you throw the grenade without switching the weapons, so... That's what it looks like.
What? See, in my 32, I just do the single lean. So, take everything Grav just described, okay? Everything is described. And do it in this one smooth motion. Oh yeah, that was easy, guys. Oh, it's so easy to do a double R lean. Like, I mean, really? Maybe if you're an INTJ, you can understand it. Grav showed me how to do it in person when I was visiting him for the Eclipse in August, and even then, it's still... I'd have to really figure it out again. So, Grav guaranteed me a couple things. He guaranteed me he would get 28 or 29 before this SpeedLore episode aired. And he guaranteed that he would never complete a 30 or a 31. Eise disagreed. Remember everything you've been told over the past 2 hours and watch.
Oh my god, I would have killed myself. Okay, it wasn't going to be a 29. It wasn't going to be a 29. So, I'm fine with it. It's whatever.
Untitled record. It's whatever. Grav posted about how he wasn't going to be happy with Untides or whatever. It wasn't his goal time. Clearly, he's a little bit happy. So what happened there was, he thought he had missed this third drone throw. So instead of pressing B to the plane, he was like, I'm going to have a look, see where it landed. He looked, saw it, look, he's reacting. Oh my god, it might have completed. He didn't think it was going to complete, just presses B anyways.
Oh my god, I would have killed myself.
Then so he says I would have killed myself if it completed and would have been 29, but it didn't. And then now he's reacting, finding out that it actually did complete. In the fade.
It wasn't going to be a 29.
On a 31-second run. So, pretty wild stuff. That was a fourth last cycle grenade explosion. That's why it took so long. An unusual amount of time. And this run was achieved October 18, 2017. Literally less than 2 weeks ago. So, Grav did promise, like, yeah man, I'm gonna get the record before you gotta play. But, before you gotta do the lore, but it wasn't the record he was looking for. And so where does that leave us? Well, we got to at least take a look and take an acknowledgement for our friend Perfect Eise, who nailed it back in January. Surely there must be a chance of 31 as well. Shouldn't leave that one as exactly 0. In fact, I'm willing to bet you will land on 30 or 31, 100% sure. Eise, been around for 12 years. He knows his stuff. 31 seconds. And then, if we scroll ahead to the future, there's 31 seconds. Runway 00 agent. Ryan Gibbs, 31. 30. 29. 28. All still very much out there for the taking. Grav can get it. Randy can get it. Who knows who else can get it? And that, my friends, is the cliffhanger. Perhaps you watching this video, this stream, can get it. No, really. And, I don't say it lightly. You guys, a random person could not get Train Agent. A random person could not get Silo Agent. But you, literally, you watching, could get this time. You could pick up the game, you could learn GoldenEye, you could learn the double Arlene, and you could maybe get the Untied 30, 29, 28 on the stage. We've seen it happen a couple times on this level. Cliff, Bozon, Walton. They all did it. So I leave you with that. Who will be the one to get the next Untied on the stage? And that, my friends, is the cliffhanger of Runway 00 Agent. Every episode I do, the response really, it always amazes me. I'm always truly chuffed and grateful that you guys are enjoying this as much as I'm enjoying doing them. Like, I really get excited. I really get, like, man, I was really keen for this one. I'm like, this is going to be good. I've been knowing that I was going to do Runway 00 for months, and I was really excited to do this one, so look forward to the next one. Next month, we're closing out the 10 episodes that I was going to do this year with Streets Agent and the Legend of Ryan Lockwood, okay? That's going to be absolutely insane. That's going to be in the last week of November. That one might be 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 20 hours long, the Legend of Lockwood. I don't even know. This one went way longer than I expected. So look for that next month. Streets Agent, the Legend of Lockwood. So follow the Twitch channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel to be sure to see all that. I have a Patreon I just launched. You can support that. I'm doing a monthly tutorial for the patrons. Thank you all for watching, supporting, your kind words, all of it. You guys are really amazing. Stay true. And I'll see you guys next month. And maybe in the next stream or video.